Hello, Star Wars and unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba, and today I've shifted up the angle a little bit, kind of trying a couple of new things here. Why am I doing that? Well, because if you've watched any of my more recent episodes, and if you've looked on all of my social media, at Darth Tuba, at Instagram and Twitter, Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing page on Facebook, you will know that I will be very shortly, in about 9 days, taking part in FORCEFEST 2020. And again, FORCEFEST 2020 is a Star Wars virtual fan-run event. Since no conventions could happen this year, it has been decided that lots of places are going to work really hard to bring fan-loving content to the masses via virtual different areas. So Star Wars is no exception, and the good folks over at Skywalking Through Neverland, among other people, have gotten together to put this whole convention together. There are 6 virtual stages, 6, and when I say we, I mean myself and my daughter Karina are involved with 2 of them, both in, one stage, the fan collecting art stage, but we're running 2 panels. But there are many panels throughout the day, beginning, actually Friday night, the 28th, will be an opening ceremony of August 28th, and then Saturday and Sunday, there are events going on in all 6 stages, all over the place. If you want to find out more, you can check my all my social media page, feeds and everything, and also look in the show notes. But you can also look up the site GetVocal.com. GetVocal, GetVokl.com. This is kind of an online kind of social networking, podcasting, content sharing platform, and it's pretty new, and we are putting all the stages together with this. In addition to doing 2 stages, I'm actually going to be moderating a few, and I'm looking forward to just taking part in this. I'm normally very busy during the time of year of the convention circuit, and I'm not able to go to conventions very often, so I'm really excited to be able to participate in this virtual convention. So on August 29th, I will be conducting an interview with Karina Magalio, who happens to be my daughter and happens to be the designer of all of my art that you see on this channel. If you look at the bumpers at the beginning and the end, you look at the product that's available on TeePublic. She does a lot of vintage Star Wars box art, and she's also kind of now delving into her own kind of creative juices with her own kind of concepts of Star Wars figures that were never produced, production lines that were never produced, and I'm loving it. She's putting out some great content. You can check her out on her Instagram. If you just type in her name, Karina Magalio, you'll get her different feeds everywhere, and she can give you lots of cool insight. She's also doing, available for commissions and stuff like that. So I'm doing an interview with her. I'm going to be showing her a lot of her work. It's kind of like an artist alley that you can have in her thing, and that takes place at 4:45 Eastern Standard Time on Saturday, the 29th of August. On Sunday, August 30th, I'm hosting my own panel, and it's going to be 10 types of Star Wars toys and collectibles to unbox. Now, what does that mean? Well, basically, I'm going to be unboxing 10 items that are very different, kind of what I've set up in different categories. So, in order to do that, I have to kind of set up a bigger space than what we normally have. So, as you can see, I'm trying something a little different here, just to see what I can get. I'm probably going to stack everything here and just kind of stack it up high. It will be live on GetVocal. It will be simulcast on YouTube and other places. If you want to interact with the show, that's great, but you got to go do it on GetVocal. Even though it'll be on Facebook Live, it'll be on YouTube, I will not be reading any comments. It's only going to be on GetVocal that I'll be able to check comments and maybe respond live if I can, okay? So please check it out. That's going to be Sunday at 2:15 on August 30th, 2:15 Eastern Standard Time. If you look at all my posts and everything, you'll see that the times there are, sometimes they're posted as Pacific, sometimes they're posted as Eastern. So you just got to make sure you keep track of that. Okay, so because of that, I have a lot of items. I've kind of pulled out the stops for that, where I'm doing a huge unboxing episode, okay, to share my love of Star Wars and collecting with the world. All right, and I realize that I like anybody else, I'm just an average guy, an average Joe, happens to love Star Wars collecting, but I'm not I do not have unlimited funding, so I had to kind of pick and choose and put some stuff off to the side for that event. So because of that, this is a little bit of a smaller one, a smaller unboxing, even though it looks bigger, but you'll understand when I get to it. So great resource for unboxing. cannot speak highly enough about eBay. eBay is an awesome resource. If you're someone who wants to get into collecting and you don't know where to start, eBay is a great place to start. I was one of the people that started collecting on eBay and even selling stuff on eBay back when it was just getting started. And I remember I would type in the term Star Wars in the search on eBay and I would get like 90,000 hits. And I thought that was a lot. And then not even a month later, I would type it in again and I would get 110,000 hits. And then I thought, oh my God, this is going. And it has been creeping up like that on a steady level for, well, I think I made my first purchase, I want to say 1995. So what is that? 2005, 25 years. So 25 years eBay's been around. And again, 1995, it was I think it was around a little bit even earlier than that. So eBay has a great place to find lots of stuff. Now, of course, the adage, an item is only worth what people are willing to pay for it, really holds true there, okay? You can do lots of things on eBay, and you can look back on the other shows, but I just wanted to kind of talk through it. One thing about eBay you can do is, there are places, it's like a store. It's like shopping on Amazon or any other online retailer in that many, many, many places will have a buy it now price. So you don't really have to partake in an auction. You can literally say, oh, I really want that. I'm gonna make a purchase. Okay? What happens there is that a seller, will essentially set a price. Sometimes they'll do it for bidding and they'll set a low bid price. And then they'll have a slightly higher price that will be the buy it now price. So if you're a person who wants that item and you really want it badly enough, and you're willing to pay the buy it now price, and you're the first one to see it or that wants it, you click on buy it now, and now you can add items to your cart like anything else, and they'll hold it for you unless after a certain amount of time, it'll go back into the auction. So that's really cool, right? But there's also the auction part of it, and a lot of times people don't do the buy it now; they just set it as an auction price and see what happens. In some cases, I might be the only person who's bidding on something, in which case I bid on it, and 3 days later, 5 days, 10 days later, however long the auction lasts, I'm the winner. Other times, it could be a very hot item, and people will kind of have bidding wars, and one person bids $5, the next person bids $6, the next person bids $7, and so on. And it could go up to a very high price, and then until everybody kind of backs out. So it's kind of a fair market in a lot of ways. Yes, there are people that can play games with it and do some things that are somewhat disreputable. But for the most part, I've been really pleasantly, not surprised, but I've been very pleasant, have had very pleasant experiences with it. It's tied in with a PayPal, which is essentially a payment way you can set it up with your bank account or with a credit card. So it's safe. I've made a lot of purchases over 25 years, and I can tell you, I think only 2 or 3 out of probably hundreds of purchases, only 2 or maybe 3 were not done. Maybe the product wasn't good or something. So in the end, I was pretty happy with how eBay was run, and if there was a problem, you file a claim, and the claim after a few weeks or so would be settled, and you'd get the money back mostly. So it's definitely buyer friendly. So if you haven't really explored eBay, which I can't imagine a lot of people watching this show hasn't, but if you haven't, check it out, okay? So this was an item purchased on eBay, okay? And let's just open it up and see what we got. It is a used item. It's something that was purchased by someone else, and they decided they wanted to sell it. I have sold on eBay as well. I sell a lot of Star Wars stuff on eBay. Haven't done it more, recently, but I do, I usually do it in chunks. I'll grab a whole bunch of stuff together, and I'll do like 10 items at once or 20 items at once. But this is, it's really, really packaged up nicely. So I'm just going to try to loosen up some of this. And we have here, an 18-inch Jakks Pacific First Order Stormtrooper action figure. All right? There he is. Look at how awesome he is. Now, I got to be honest with you folks. I've always, when they started coming out with these figures, I was really thrilled. I thought that this was a fantastic idea. It was a throwback to the 5-point articulation 12-inch figures that they were doing, back in the 70s, and now they're back to doing them again as 12-inch figures, but they've come up with other sizes. There's 18-inch. They've had other ones. They've had ones that are as high as maybe 3 feet. They've even had some that are almost life-size, all right? So it's pretty cool that they have them. And the thing is that I think from a playability standpoint, I think some people like them. I don't know if this was something that really took off with kids. I only ask that. I only say that because I was able to purchase this one and another one for a relatively inexpensive price for two. So, and I remember them being in stores on sale after they'd been initially released for a pretty decent amount of money. So, but you can see, it comes with a little blaster. The blaster does come off. He's got his 5 points, turn his head, his legs, and it works out really good. I just love these things. I haven't collected them all, but when I come across one here, one there, I do occasionally like to see them. So it's a pretty cool thing. Now, as I said, he is not alone. He has a buddy. So let's get his buddy out. And let's move this over here. Now, I don't know if I'd call him his buddy because, well, maybe he would be. I don't know. We have not, I will say, not from the same, same universe. It's still Star Wars, but not what I would say the same, movie era. All right, get this box out of here. I like this better because the boxes go over there. I think I'm really liking this setup here. Okay, we have the Death Trooper. And I will say this, the Death Trooper, I'm liking that. If you look at it closely, you can see that the Death Trooper is slightly taller. Okay, I do believe that when you consider the movies, I do recall that they got extremely tall actors to play the Death Troopers, just so that they had a more imposing figure in front of people. I forgot to mention. This is Death Troopers were first introduced in the movie Rogue One, okay, which takes place in timeline. That takes place immediately before the episodes of A New Hope, whereas the First Order Stormtrooper takes place in the Force Awakens time period, which is about 30 to 40 years after Return of the Jedi. So obviously, this is a lot younger of a character than this in the timeline of things. Now, in terms of the figure itself, it looks fantastic. I will say that I've been having a little bit of issue here, but maybe it's just that he's a lefty, so it seems like he holds his gun pretty well with the left hand, okay? So he stands really well. So get a little close-up of him. Obviously, he's all black paint, but he's got a really cool... I'm going to try to let the light reflect on some of his features there. It's really cool. So, nicely done. I will say this, the only issue I have, and by the way, I call these 5-point of articulation. I guess you can argue that they're 7-point because their wrists turn, so that'd be 6, 7. But the only thing I would say that's a little bit of a problem with these is that you got the long arm syndrome. It's hard to see, but I'm going to put it in front of my shirt. Like, who holds a gun like this? Stick them up! Not a lot of people. So this is kind of unrealistic. Okay, which is why the 5-point of articulation. I know, like, collectors have enjoyed when they increase the amount of articulation so that the elbows bend, maybe the wrists and the elbows, and a little bit, even sometimes the upper forearm. That's great. Okay, but these were inexpensive figures. Okay, I'm gonna move Boba Fett out of the way there. These are inexpensive figures, even when they were first sold, because they're really easy to produce. Okay, but there is a little bit of when you get beyond the stand straight pose, when you try to do anything else, there's not much you can do. When they sit kind of funny. In fact, I don't even know if these legs go very far. They don't bend very far. I think that this one seems to just stop at the halfway point. So obviously there's some limitations, okay? From a collector my age, okay, who recalls the original Star Wars action figures, them always having those 5 points of articulation and having them sit in right angles and everything, it's kind of a fun throwback. So, but these are really just meant to be kind of display pieces, and maybe I'll have them stand guard. I have looks like I have down below there, I have a Praetorian Guard from Last Jedi and a Snowtrooper, First Order Snowtrooper from, I think it's also Last Jedi, and have them kind of guarding one of the rooms as you enter. So I might just line these 4 up and just have them there. They've made a lot of different figures, and they're great. They're a lot of fun. Are they collectible? Are they going to be anything of value? Doubtful. They're being so mass-produced that I just don't see that as a viable thing. And people ask me that, like, are you sure? I can't believe you're unboxing everything. I mean, well, first of all, these really weren't. These came like this. The only unboxing I did was from the box that was shipped in, and they didn't really come in any kind of box. So people ask me about that, and I said, when it comes to any of my unboxings, I said, look, this is my choice. I choose to do this. I know that, yes, some of the things I unbox are probably worth a lot more, and if I sold them on eBay, I'd probably make more money. This is not what I do. That's not what I'm about. I like collecting. I do eventually sometimes sell certain things off, and usually that just gets funneled right back in. Whatever money is made gets funneled right back into the collection. For me, it's more of a space issue than it is have to have everything issue. Not at all. It's nothing like that. So anyway, that's kind of why I do what I do, and I love it. So again, if you want to see more of this, I would, as I said, we're planning a 10 types of Star Wars toys to unbox show, and a cool interview with artist Karina McGalley, who did all of this awesome stuff. And you can find all the information about that on all of my social network. I will post things about it in the comments, or not in the comments, in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Welcome to new subscribers. Yes, I'd like to get some more subscribers, so you'll start seeing. That's another reason I'm doing this. I'm trying to advertise, put it out there so people know that this channel exists. So check it out. Not just for my channel, but check out the other channels. There's a ton of not other channels. Check out the other content. There's going to be a lot of content the whole weekend, all different times of day. You have to pick and choose some days. It's like when you're at a convention, you have to pick and choose. So check out what's going on. But try to see mine too. Try to see my daughters and try to see mine. Okay? All right. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, may the Force and the toys be with you.